Let's move down to number 7. We have some exponents. 4 to the third power means 4 times 4 times 4. It's our base number multiplied by itself 3 times. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. Oh, now let's see, what does that mean when we have a variable in here? Well, x is our base, just like 4 was in the previous problem. So that means I'm multiplying some number by itself 3 times. X times x times x. Let's evaluate when x is 3. Well, this is meaning I would have 3 times 3 times 3. This answer is not 9. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. All right, now I have a number multiplied by itself 5 times. There's our expanded form, and when n equals 2, well, I would get 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. The answer is not 10. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16 times 2 is 32. 2 to the 5th is 32. Let's see if you can do I gave you the expanded form. Can you take these ones and convert them back into an algebraic expression? See what we can do with, combining some things. Well, let's see, 7x plus 2x. 7x is saying I have 7 copies of x, so I have x plus x plus x. Oh, goodness, lots of little x's. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's my 7x right here. And to add to that, I'm going to add another 2 copies of x. Here's my 2x. Well, how many x's do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9x. So 7x plus 2x. Here's the expanded form, but we could simplify that to be 9x. Oh, that's nice. Let's evaluate it for when x is 4. I have 9 copies of 4. That is 36. All right, 4a plus 3a. Well, I have 4 copies of a. There are my 4 copies right there. I'm going to add to that another 3 copies of a. There are my 3 copies right here. So here's my expanded form, but we could simplify that. How many a's do I have? I have 7 copies of a. Let's see, when a is 1/7, 7 times 1/7, those are reciprocals. Those are going to equal 1. Let's do a subtraction. Here I have 10m minus 7m. I'm thinking you might have been picking up on kind of a pattern for how we add like terms. How do you think we're going to subtract like terms? I have 10 copies of m. Oh, goodness, lots of m's. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to go down here. 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I'm going to take away 7 copies of m. I'm taking them out. I'm just going to cross them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I just took those away. How many am I left with? Oh, I am left with 3 copies of m. So 10m minus 7m, that's kind of what it looks like, the expanded form, but it turns out to be just 3m. Let's see, evaluating 3 times 2/3. Ooh, let's see, that's going to be 6/3, which turns out to be 2. Let's see, 2j plus 5k. Ooh, I have j's and k's. What's going to happen here? I have 2 copies of j, and I'm going to add to that 5 copies of k. Can I combine my J's and K's? I can't, because J is probably going to stand for a different number than K. So this is the long way of writing this out, but there's no way to simplify this. It's just 2J plus 5K. All right, let's see if we can write the expression for this one. How many B's do we have? Ooh, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives, but 1 positive. These ones are going to cancel out to be 0. A negative C and a positive C are just a wash out. So basically I have 1, 2, 3. I'm subtracting 3 copies of C after I wash those out right there. What happens with this? Well, I have a positive R and a negative R. These ones are going to cancel out. They just become a wash. So therefore, all I'm left with is just 48, because a positive R and a negative R are gone. And when I evaluate R as 52, it doesn't matter, because basically what's going to happen is I have 48 plus, or 48 plus 52 minus 52. The 52s cancel out, and no matter what happens, I'm still just left with 48. Let's see what happens with this one. P, oh, wait, I have a positive P and I have a negative P. What happens to these guys? When I add P and subtract P, the P's cancel out. When I add 61 and subtract 61, my 61s cancel out. I'm left with just nothing. Just 0. Let's see what happens. 20 plus 61 minus 61, gone, minus 20. I'm left with just 0. Let's see what happens for our last one. Ooh, I have some positives and some negatives. I have a negative D here, and I have a negative 1 here. Well, let's see. This negative 1 will cancel out with any of these positives. It doesn't matter which one. I'll just cancel these ones out right here because they're right next to each other. I have a positive and I have a negative. That's just a wash. And here I have a positive and a negative. These two are just a wash. So what am I left with? 1 positive here, a positive here, and a positive here. 1, 2, 3. I'm left with 3 copies of D, because these two canceled out and these two canceled out. When D is 1,000, I have 3 copies of 1,000, and that is 3,000, because a couple of the D's just canceled each other out.